These poems are dedicated to all those whose lives have been spent in bringing peace to this planet. Wherever you are, I bow my head. May peace be on this earth. We are all united with the thread of love. May each one of us realize the garland of life.
Once upon a time, many, many moons ago, lived the dragons. They live where the British Isles are today. Now, these dragons weren't exactly nice. In fact, they were mean. Dragons in the past were kind and caring, yet over time, they lost their awareness. It may seem strange to us, but they love to bicker and quarrel. They love to be angry. They love to create war. That was their form of excitement. This went on for thousands of years. You see, dragons can live to a dear old age. These dragons cause a lot of discomfort in the countryside in the British Isles. Imagine waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning and seeing your precious cow taken away by the dragons. Man would hide all valuables and jewels. The dragons had a sixth sense to find them and steal them. It was true that dragons loved to hoard their wealth. Unfortunately, they couldn't do anything with them. They just loved to sit in their caves and sit on their wealth. Greed came upon them. They didn't know how to share with one another. Consequently, there was a lot of fighting with one another. It seemed like where life was miserable. There was no contentment in their life, no happiness or kindness, not even love. All the dragons were in the same empty boat. They were like ghosts where nothing could fill them up. No wonder man was fearful of the dragons. They were horrible beings. They were up to no good. Man had good reason to be wary of them. During the Crusades, man had the weapons to start fighting the dragons. It was not a glorious time for man and dragons. Many of the traits the dragons had, man embraced. It seemed like man and dragons, at this point in time, had misery in common. Both of them lost the true direction to find the hidden jewel inside. You can't blame them. They never knew it existed inside. The years went by, and the conflict never got better. It just got worse. The dragons were being hunted down and killed one by one. It wasn't a pretty sight. One day, a baby dragon was born during the darkest times. This dragon couldn't relate to anger, war, and greed. All the other dragons thought he was a misfit. All he wanted to do was have fun. He was extremely intelligent and had a lot of humor. He made other dragons laugh. The elders disapproved of this. When he learned to fly, he would go off alone and soar in the sky. He was free at that moment, not a care in the world. He loved that feeling. Somehow he knew that the true nature of a dragon is true freedom. He discovered that kindness, love, compassion, and patience was his true nature. Well, the old elder dragons did not like that at all. They told him that he had to stop this nonsense. You see, the other young dragons liked what they were seeing. They looked how Zoran, the young dragon, was turning their lives upside down. They thought that war, anger, and stealing was truly the way. Now a young dragon, Zoran, clearly walked on a different path and didn't have a care in the world. Zoran's father had a huge pile of precious jewels, yet Zoran wasn't interested in the slightest. He told his dad the greatest jewels in the universe lie inside. Well, that didn't go over so well. Dad was furious. He was already furious and angry. Remember at that time, the dragons had quite the temper tantrums. Well, this was like putting gasoline on the fire. His dad exploded. Who do you think you are to say such a thing? Zoran knew not to say anything. Sometimes it's wise to be silent. All of the other elders talked with one another about this situation. What are we going to do with Zoran? He is wreaking havoc with his tribes. They decided to give him a little time to see if anything would change. Well, it didn't. Zoran was moment by moment learning how to meditate. He was diving deeper than ever inside of the infinite ocean within. Now you see, these dragons are scared of water. They are fire dragons. Water will extinguish the fire within. Water will extinguish war, anger, and greed. They thought this was their true nature. Zoran discovered something the entire dragon world didn't know. You are the universe. You just don't know it. Well, that was the final straw. They had a council meeting and decided to throw him out. He was still young for a dragon. He was 100 years old. You see, the dragons could live for thousands of years. So he was told to leave and never return. He was cast out of his home. But there's another story to this. A few young dragons decided to go secretly along with Zoran on his grand adventure. Zoran at this time was getting guidance within. One dark and moonless night, they flew out of the cave, never to return again. The rest is history. Zoran hears the east might be a great place to go. They had high and magnificent mountains far from man and other dragons. Up until that time, dragons were extremely rare in the east. They were quite unknown. So they flew away into the darkness of night. The journey was just starting. They had no idea the steps they were going to take. Zoran and his friends traveled only during the night. They didn't want other dragons or man to discover them on their flight. When they flew over the lakes, rivers, seas, and oceans, they would eat the fish along the way. Fish was extremely plentiful. They discovered it was tastier than cows. Furthermore, they didn't have to be worried stealing cows and being captured. Man was slowly learning how to trap the dragons. There were even dragon slayers as a profession. Times have changed. It took 3 solid months to arrive at their destination. They landed in the high mountains in Tibet, far from man and other dragons. It was wintertime. They had to fly in fierce snowstorms and bitter winds. Fortunately, they were fire dragons and could keep warm. A water dragon might have frozen to death. Zoran and friends found a beautiful cave to live in. It was huge and had an opening where they could fly in and out. So they set up camp and called it home. Well, winters last for a long time in Tibet, especially at high altitudes. You can only have so much external conversation with one another. Zoran taught them how to meditate. It was slow going at first, None of the dragons realized how powerful the mind was. Zoran simply instructed them to follow their breath. The dragons thought this should be easy. They learned that was more difficult than learning how to fly. You see, even for dragons, flying took time and effort. You had to work at it. They say conquering your mind is the most difficult thing in the universe. Well, the young dragons will completely agree. Since it was winter time, they had all the times in their life. Slowly, I mean slowly, they took small baby steps along the way. When winter was over, they took to the skies. They loved the external and internal feelings of flying. Wow, I'm free. I'm not bound to anything. The seasons came and went. Winter has arrived again. They spent their time in meditation. Imagine this went on for hundreds of years. Zoran and his friends were discovering they were the universe. The universe existed inside of them. They were truly discovering their true nature. They were becoming wise. They knew how to laugh and play. They truly enjoyed each other's company. These dragons lost their old egos from the past. They became the first master dragons of their time. Mind you, for their time, dragons are eternal. They are timeless. Zoran and his friends discovered that their true essence was the universe. Well, one day, an incident occurred. While the dragons were flying and having a merry good time, some small youngsters saw the dragons in the sky. They got very excited. They heard old folk tales from their ancestors about dragons flying in the sky. As youngsters, they didn't want to worry their parents. Their moms and dads already had too much on their plate. You see, they were farmers and herders. Life was tough enough as it was. They didn't need another burden. These youngsters started to see them flying more, often during the spring, summer, and fall. During the winter, they never saw them. This went on for many seasons. The youngsters married, had children, and their children had children. It was now a common sight to see, yet nobody ever saw them in person. They were like the UFOs we're seeing today. You see them, but never have a close encounter. One day, during spring, a group of youngsters went exploring. They saw this huge cave with a large opening. They decided to go in. They weren't scared, but were hesitant. Slowly, they walked, step by step, into the cave. To their amazement, they saw Zoran and his friends meditating. It was a sight to behold. They weren't scared at all. In fact, they were so happy and full of love. They had never experienced anything quite like it. The dragons woke up and saw the children sitting there with their eyes wide open. They couldn't believe what they saw. Now, the dragons don't speak their language, but they have the capability for non-verbal communication. This means, without saying words, the children could hear from inside of them what the dragons said. The children never saw such a thing like this before. This started a brand new life for the children. They were told, don't tell anyone else. Someday, when this time is right, we will show ourselves to the village. These children came back day after day. The dragons took them on flying rides, which are still being talked about today. Imagine flying on the backs of the dragons. They never experienced such freedom and joy. The dragons slowly taught them how to meditate. They taught them and showed them that kindness, love, and compassion is the true way to live. They did not preach or try to convince anyone. The dragons were pure and didn't have anything to prove, yet their essence rubbed off on the youngsters. Slowly, over time, they embraced these qualities. Mind you, this was a time in Tibet and China where war was all around. The same problems that existed in the West existed in the East. Generation after generation, the youngsters migrated to the dragons. The parents and grandparents who knew what was going on. They have spent precious time with the dragons and took their wisdom into their daily life. You see, a spiritual path is the most practical path. These small villages were becoming wise. One was a young boy named Confucius. He was seeing his transformation from the dragons and put them into practice. He discovered a system that is still in place in China today. All his wisdom came from spending time with the dragons. He then carried on his journey in life, and we have a great tradition today. One of the earliest students was Lao Tzu. He was truly a man of nature. He spent a considerable amount of time with the dragons. Even at a young age, he was wise beyond his time. Even the dragons were amused at his knowledge and wisdom. At times, it seemed that his wisdom was beyond theirs. Mind you, these dragons were thousands of years old. Lao Tzu was only around 10 years old. Needless to say, there was great friendship and understanding with each other. At that time, China and Tibet couldn't understand the simplicity of Lao Tzu and the dragons. Lao Tzu really didn't care about politics and worldly affairs. He hardly ever went to cities. They were a complete distraction. Man really wasn't open to wisdom or knowledge at this time. So Lao Tzu spent a lot of time with the dragons in nature. You see, Lao Tzu could see the unity of all life. There is a story that when Lao Tzu was going to leave this world, a small group approached him high in the mountains. They begged for some insight and wisdom. Today, we have the Tao Te Ching, one of the greatest books. Lao Tzu went with some dragons and never returned. His wisdom is still alive today. Today, the dragons are revered all over the East. Wherever you go in China, you will see dragons as flags or statues. Their wisdom is still alive today. Unfortunately, in the West, not much has changed. Dragons are something to be fearful of. Stories are still being told of dragons hoarding wealth. Dragon slayers were the savior of mankind. Isn't it amazing? The times really haven't changed much. We still are angry. We still think that wars can solve our issues. Maybe, just maybe, we can learn from the dragon. Our nature is the universe. The new dawning of man is here. I have a dear friend, Chris. We have been friends for many, many moons. 46 years. in fact. I met him in South Africa. We were on the same spiritual path. I lost contact with him many years ago. Recently, we have reconnected. It seems like yesterday. Anyway, along with the story, his main question is, why can't we do it all? That's a very valid question. At times, he gets a little depressed with this question. He has been meditating for many years. Personally, I think patience is the best medicine. I sincerely believe we can do it all. Yet, it is a day-by-day step in this journey of life. We want to leap where small baby steps are needed. We learn along the way. Sometimes we think we haven't gone far on this journey of life. Every one of us has traveled so far. You see, on this journey, there are no benchmarks. Imagine swimming in an ocean of light. Everywhere you look, there is light. You are swimming in it. You will never know how far you swam. This is an endless journey. It never begins and never dies. My advice is to enjoy it. Take it easy. There is no rush. There is no final destination. Enjoy the ride in this life. You are the one who sees the glass as half full or half empty. Ponder this over. Life is grand. You are the universe. You just don't know it. It's a wonderful day. I just woke up. It's early in the morning. It's cold outside. My heart is warm with love. It melts all my troubles away. Life is good. Even when they shut down the government, life is good. We need to all change. We need to embrace kindness and compassion for all. We need to stop bickering and truly listen to the needs of the world. Everyone deserves a wonderful day. I'm rich at heart and want everyone to have the same riches. A new dawning is occurring. The sun is arising. Darkness is slowly disappearing. Yes, it is putting up a fight. It doesn't have anywhere to hide. Darkness is exposing itself for what it is. We don't need more anger, bigotry, and greed on this planet. It's been here for far too long. It's not part of our true nature. Many people think it is. Well, darkness has been around for thousands of years. Consequently, we think it's part of us. Well, the light dispels the darkness. Your true nature is kindness. Your true nature is love and compassion. Your true nature is patience. You are the universe. No wonder it's a wonderful day. Discover your true nature. This is how the world will be a better place. One person at a time is the way. One person waking up from a deep slumber. You are a piece of the puzzle. You can solve this puzzle. Ponder this over. We are walking in the world of mystery. Yet, most of the time, we are oblivious of it. We are driving around with our cell phones in our hands. The signpost of God is everywhere. Yet we barely see the road ahead of us. We are so concerned about the text we just received. The president just treated something in his mind. Thousands of birds are flying in the sky. Sweet songs of honking fill the air. What a magnificent sight. Such beauty in motion. Where are we? Lost in our phones. Look, I'm all for technology. I've been in it my entire adult life. But sometimes we have added an extra layer between us and our true nature. We have created more distance between us and God. Is that text message really more important than life itself? You are missing out on the mysteries of life. We are wearing tinted glasses. We think we know it. Don't bother me. I know everything. The wise man simply smiles. He has nothing to convince. The sun in the sky just shines. The wise man just shines. The lighthouse in the sea just shines a light to save us from harm. It shows the way to the harbor. The wise man does the same thing. I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm trying to show you that you can keep your technology, yet at the same time discover your true nature. You can discover the mysteries of life. You can solve this precious puzzle. You can help this world finally find peace. Ponder this over. Can you imagine that the universe lies inside of you? Yet we live our lives oblivious to our true nature. Wouldn't our life be incomplete? We'd have a yellow Ferrari sitting in the garage. We have never opened the garage door and taken the car for a spin. It just sits there gathering dust. Isn't that kind of sad? We walk alone on this journey of life. We have our ups and downs, yet we don't realize we are never alone. Help is always with us. Signposts are everywhere. We think the world will provide all the answers. We have forgotten who we truly are. Our life is incomplete. We are missing something, yet we always look external for the answer. Maybe a new girlfriend, maybe a new career, maybe a new house, maybe a vacation. There are thousands of maybes, yet until one looks within, the door within is closed. You must open your inner door. Nobody can open the door for you. You have free will. You can open the door or not. Nobody's going to judge you. God does not judge. God simply loves. You are never alone. God is always inside of you, just waiting for you to open the door. This journey takes small baby steps. Most people can't leap to God, but you can stumble and fall. That's how you learn on this journey of life. Ponder this over. Can you imagine that the universe lies inside of you? Yet we live our lives oblivious to our true nature. Wouldn't our life be incomplete? We have a yellow Ferrari sitting in the garage. We have never opened the garage door and taken the car for a spin. It just sits there gathering dust. Isn't that kind of sad? We walk alone on this journey of life. We have our ups and downs, yet we don't realize we are never alone. Help is always with us. Signposts are everywhere. We think the world will provide all the answers. We have forgotten who we truly are. Our life is incomplete. We are missing something, yet we always look external for the answer. Maybe a new girlfriend, maybe a new career, maybe a new house, maybe a vacation. There are thousands of maybes, yet until one looks within, the door within is closed. You must open your inner door. Nobody can open the door for you. You have free will. You can open the door or not. Nobody's going to judge you. God does not judge. God simply loves. You are never alone. God is always inside of you, just waiting for you to open the door. This journey takes small baby steps. Most people can't leap to God, but you can stumble and fall. That's how you learn on this journey of life. Ponder this over. You are in this life to win. You will have ups and downs. You will hit potholes on this journey of life. What would a journey be if it was always a smooth road? A journey is meant to be exciting at times. At times we can just cruise through life. You put the card on speed control and just relax and drive. You don't have your foot on the accelerator. At times you are holding on to the steering wheel for dear life. The mountain road is steep and scary. No guardrails in sight. Many moons ago I went through the Khyber Pass in Afghanistan. Now, that was a scary ride. This life will give you an incredible joyride. You will never know what's going to happen next. My dear friend Dave just got in a car accident the other day. A young driver barreled through their car and others behind them. Fortunately, his wife Ellie had the wits to swerve so they wouldn't get killed. They escaped with minor injuries. Ellie must have been in the zone to react that way. She wasn't on her cell phone chatting. If she was, their dog, Dave, and Ellie would be dead by now. This is why I say, be aware in all moments in life. Ellie didn't stop the accident yet. She saved their lives by acting swiftly and making the necessary course of action. Just one split second or less saved their lives. This is where your awareness helps you. Yes, there is grace that helps, but your actions bring grace to you. You are the motivating force in life. Your actions and awareness help you to navigate the potholes of life. Now, I haven't talked to Ellie in many moons, probably over 47 years ago. Dave was a great friend of our family during high school. I'm so glad that Ellie was aware. We don't need another tragedy. You are in this life to win. Ponder this over. This is the only life you get. You are made of the same stuff as the universe. Wow! Isn't that exciting? You are stardust. You came from the universe. In fact, you are the universe. Isn't that exciting? The great masters of old talked about your great essence. We thought they were fairy tales. We thought they were just stories. Today, we send satellites out to the unknown in space. The more we learn, the more we can see our knowledge is a grain of sand. The modern day mystic goes within. The modern day scientist explores the universe. Both are leading mankind for the search of the unknown. Did you know that all matter on earth came from beyond? Just stop and think for a moment what a glorious world we live in. Signpost of God is all around us, yet we are driving in our cars with our cell phones in our hands. What do you see? In this condition, we are lucky to see even the road. I once was told that if God ever did come back, most people wouldn't be aware. Imagine heaven can be all around you, yet you are not aware and conscious of it. You see, conscious and awareness is the key to life. That's why I say the spiritual path is the most practical path. In each and every moment, you must be aware and conscious. The more you are aware and conscious, the more you have gratitude. This is an endless journey. You can never clap your hands and say, I'm totally aware. The journey of life is eternal. You were never created. You will never die. Your body will. I find this fascinating. Just think, you are made up of the same stuff as the universe. Ponder this over. You are never alone. Wow, I wish I could believe that. I feel all alone. Where are they? That's a good question. Mankind has been looking in the wrong direction. Signpost is all around, yet we can't see them. God is hiding inside of your heart. This is the greatest game in the universe. You are the universe. You just don't know it. All of that lies inside of you. Yet somehow we have forgotten our true nature. These sayings or poems hopefully will remind you you have free will. We are not trying to convince or convert you. If you are the universe, do you think you need converting? We simply are here to remind you of your true nature. Hasn't humanity suffered enough? Humanity is waking up from their slumber. It's been thousands of years we have slept in. War, anger, and greed have been built on this land. Kindness, love, and compassion will be the new norms. You will look into the eyes of others and see a reflection of yourself. You will be aware and conscious that you are never alone. Humanity will discover their piece of the puzzle. The puzzle of life will be put together again. The dawning of man is coming. The sun is arising within. In a few hours, the sun will be shining everywhere. All the great masters talk about a new dawning of man. You have free will. You can't sit on the fence any longer. What do you choose? War or peace? Only you can make that decision. Ponder this over. You are a piece of this precious puzzle. You are never alone. You are on my mind. When I was young, I knew that God existed inside of me. I knew the light and music existed inside of me. Yet, I didn't know how to tap into it. It was kind of frustrating. You have instincts that are true, yet you can't see. Signposts of God is all around. I just didn't see them. Maybe when we know that we are looking for God, God appears. This is a hide-and-seek game. I feel blessed that my wanderings led me to go inside. I discovered meditation quite young. It was around 47 years ago. That was the turning point in my life. I knew the direction to turn. Many mistakes are learned about this journey of life. 2 steps forward, 1 step backward. Small baby steps, day by day, moment by moment. You are on my mind. You are a part of my life. I'm not alone. What a saving grace. I feel guided and protected. I am grateful. The greatest way to help humanity is by changing yourself. One smile to someone in need to lighten up their world. We are all in the same boat together. We are sailing home. Ponder this over. You are a piece of this puzzle. You can learn how to discover your true nature. The world needs it. You can solve this puzzle. The body of man is here. You are you. Who are you? When you look into the mirror, what do you see? The external mirror will reveal your face. Ah, that's who I am. But who were you before your grandfather was born? Your father and mother didn't exist. You are you. You are infinite. You were never created, nor will you ever die. You are eternal. Yet we think, I'm only this body. of the universe. You just don't know it. I say that a lot. I say that because it's the truth. You are quantum energy. You are beyond time and space. This human vessel is hardwired to find God. God custom designed you. Your DNA contains the blueprint of God. Signpost of God exists inside and outside of you. The more you have the intent to find God, you win. God exists inside of you. Lo and behold, the kingdom of heaven exists inside of you. All the great masters have said the same thing. You are a piece of the puzzle. You are precious. You are never alone. It may seem that way. Open the inner door and start your inner journey. All it takes is consciousness and awareness. Day by day, the seed grows. Pull your inner weeds such as anger, greed, and hate. Water your soil daily. Meditate and pray. Ponder this over. You are you. You become what you do. You are the company that you keep. What you think, you eventually become. Your thinking leads to actions. Your actions in life dictate your destiny. We have a president that has lied over 1,400 times since taking office. He talks about fake news, yet nobody truly knows what is real and what is fake coming from his mouth. Unfortunately, many Christians still support him, even when it is known he paid off a porn star to hush up. It seems like the Christians are no longer a religion, but a political party. As long as the president supports their agenda, he can do what he likes. We need to understand that the American people voted him in. What does that say about ourselves? What does that say about the mental health of America? We have a president whose values are totally against ours. If Obama would have done just one of Trump's sins, he would be thrown out of office. I cringe when he goes overseas. We are the laughingstock of the world now. Look, I'm not a Democrat or Republican. I'm a human being. I think both parties are the cause for the downfall in America. They don't listen and compromise with one another. They say they speak for America, but I haven't seen that in a long time. They speak along party lines. I'm not saying that all are this way, yet the majority, in my eyes, are self-serving. You become what you do. History has shown that. Our present-day political system is like a sewer. It totally smells. Yet, there's a new dawning in America. People are waking up. Many new people are entering the political system who care. These are the ones who can help transform our system. A new wave of freshness has entered the door. You can do it. You can discover your true nature. You are never alone. You are the universe. You just don't know it. You are kind. You are full of love. You have compassion. You have patience. You have tolerance. You are playful. You are curious. You are wise. You are considerate. You are thoughtful. You are infinite. All of this and more is your true nature. You are beyond time and space. You can do it. You can wake up from your slumber you have slept in. Now is the time to wake up. Your nightmares are over. The sun is arising in the sky. A new dawn for mankind is here. A kind man is waking up. What is greater than that? You wake up peaceful. Your grouchy nature is gone. You are alive. What could be more precious than that? Wow, I'm alive. Honor the soul. What a miracle lies inside of us. You are the universe. You just don't know it. You can solve this puzzle.